This week, of course, Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, and hey, I've been known to include a bit of the reo in my broadcast, and honestly, got a bit of pushback from that, from some people that just don't like it. But hey, I'm just going to keep pushing that waka out further and further, because I'm just really loving the fact that Te Reo Māori has had a bit of a resurgence within my lifetime in Aotearoa, New Zealand. It's exciting to hear, and especially if you're in social situations and you just listen to people conversing in the reo as if it's the most natural thing in the world, because it is. And regardless of whether you are Māori or Pākehā, regardless of when your people came to Aotearoa, New Zealand and decided to call it home, this is part of our culture, this is part of our national identity. Gosh, I've nailed my colours to the mast, and I think they're black, red and white. Justin Smith joins me in the studio. Kia ora, good morning.
Hata Māori, Andrew. Kei te piha koe?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, good man. Good, yeah. Yeah, and thank you for showing me up on this one, because, I mean, seriously, I do get a bit nervous because I'm on the reo journey, but the further I go on that journey, the deeper waters I get into, the more nervous I get, because I just know how bad I am. Bro, I mean, it is a little bit daunting.
I wholeheartedly hear you, I feel you, and I understand. And I said these words to a beautiful wahine woman that I was speaking to last week, which is kei te whakamā aha i te kōrero Māori, which is I am shy, I'm whakamā to speak te reo Māori. And that's because I'm still learning te reo Māori. And so, you know, I am Māori, and I had the beautiful privilege of growing up in a home where my mother would be on a phone call like everyone's, you know, mothers did, speaking to their aunties, and they would just converse for hours in te reo Māori.
Wow. And
that was, you know, the environment that I grew up in. And yet I cannot speak fluently te reo Māori.
Mm.
And it's something that, you know, it was just by sheer virtue of the environments that I grew up in, disconnected potentially from, you know, where the rest of my whānau were further north, me being here in Auckland. So, you know, the revitalization of the language around me in general culture and society has been beautiful to watch. And I think the real key thing is identity at the end of the day, for me at least. You know, it's my cultural identity, and to see the language embraced out there is a sign of acceptance, which makes me feel like I belong. And I think extrapolating to us as a nation, you mentioned it, you know, Te Ao Māori, the world of Māori and the Māori language is a part of New Zealand. It's not everything Aotearoa, but it is very much part of. And so on the global scale, that is very firmly, you know, our unique corner of the world and what we have to offer and our identity as New Zealanders.
I know a lot of people struggle with this, and perhaps it is that whakamā with just going, well, look, I don't understand it. I'm out of my depth here. But for you, it is your identity, because you whakapapa back to this place. It is part of your family history. For people who are not from that whakapapa, Ngāti Pākehā like myself, that doesn't mean, oh yeah, no, that's just something for Māori people. And there will be people listening to this who struggle with that and going, well, gosh, that's not my culture.
Yeah.
Is it right for me to be involved with this? Is it cultural appropriation for me to be just dropping the reo?
Oh, no, not at all. And I'll like I said, the use of a language is a really amazing means of connection and acceptance. And so something that I applied many, many, many years ago that I think really helps, or at least gave me a first-hand perspective of just how powerful using one's native tongue is, was that there was someone that came from overseas. I think they might have been American. And this was when I was a young teenager, and they said, hey, bro, how do I say, you know, like, hello, I want to be able to just say one little thing in your native tongue. And of course, it's easy. It was like, yeah, well, it's kia ora. Help them navigate it. And I, as you know, as Māori, were really deeply touched that someone will go out of their way to just learn that one line. And so ever since then, I've really made an effort when I've engaged with foreign people from different cultures to learn how to say hello at minimum in their native tongue, right? Because I knew how important that was to me and what it meant and the connection that we had. So I could go to Russia and Zdravstvuyte, меня зовут Justin. Hi, my name is Justin.
Yeah.
And people go, oh my goodness. And it's just opens
And then they
up.
ask you a question, you have no idea what
I
they're
have
saying.
absolutely no idea what they're saying after that. And many, many, many other languages. I have so many Korean friends.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's opened up these really profound means of connection with other people just purely by having a crack and not even nailing it. I might have just done a very poor rendition of Russian. But the point is that I had a go because I see you and I want to be a part of. I'm not trying to pretend that I am, say, Korean or Russian or take these things. It's purely as a means of I see you as a human being and I know that this is your identity. So this is my small effort to use a little bit of your language to show that level of, vulnerability for me and establish a connection with the other person. It's huge.
That's a beautiful thing. And the thing that I'm excited about, I suppose, is within my lifetime, and you're much younger than me, but within my lifetime, somebody lost their job because they said kia ora when they answered the phone.
Yeah.
And now you can't really say hello without a kia ora in most settings. That has become the most normal thing in the world. There has been, perhaps in recent months even, a bit of pushback from people that are saying, why is it that every organisation is in Te Reo Māori? Why is it every government department? If it's in Te Māori, if it's in Te Reo Māori, it'll get funding. If it isn't, then it won't. And there has been a little bit of a social pushback on that. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts are that I get it. And actually I do in certain scenarios in some specific places, I understand. And perhaps actually it has pushed the boundaries. But at the same time, this is very much, much less for me, reclamation of, property or trying to claim back from other people what was lost, but actually more importantly, giving much better definition and that cultural identity thing to say that here in New Zealand, these are the organizations, they use the native tongue, it helps add to that national image, but it very much in the way in which these things are rolled out, street signs, et cetera, can be perceived to be shoving it down people's throats. Yeah. Or, in any case, it is very much pushing the boundaries and perhaps forcefully accelerated. And for a lot of people, that's out of necessity because, the language needs that sort of really, leading edge activity to push boundaries in order to help build, and add to the revitalization of the language as opposed to just letting it sort of happen in circles at home and schools.
And I think it is for people to take their own journey in their own pace in this regard. And some people may be more comfortable in deeper waters than others, and for us to have respect and understanding of where people are at in that journey. But for you, what's next? We're in Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. You are confident and comfortable speaking the reo, but not fluent yet. Any thoughts on where you want to go with your reo understanding next or in the near future?
Absolutely want to engage in not just learning Te Reo Māori, but specifically the beautiful Ngāpuhi dialect, from where I whakapapa up north, because it's sort of distinct and different for us. For me, at the moment, it is continuing to actually nurture and encourage my children in their Te Reo Māori version, because so too do they whakapapa Māori. And my eldest son, who started high school this year, has had the incredibly unique privilege to enter into Rumaki immersion unit. So Rumaki means to drown, to be completely immersed in Te Reo Māori at a high school level, of which there's only 2 in all of Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, that offer that. And we are at the one that's right on our back doorstep that I went to when I was a young boy. Wow. It is an incredible program. And he has gone from not being able to speak any Te Reo Māori entering into the program at the start of this year. And just last week, he was helping me with, we had a pohiri commissioning for our new CE, of which I had to whai kōrero, lead all the waiata, and then I was sitting down with my son and going, my mihi whakatau, or all these bits and pieces, and he said, Dad, it's easy, and then proceeded to kōrero Māori for 2 whole minutes. Wow. And I went, you've learned all of that in 9 months. I was moved to tears.
That is beautiful.
And it was just absolutely phenomenal. So for me, my next step is continuing to nurture that in my 14-year-old son, my 10-year-old son, and my 3-year-old daughter, Tui, and get myself in a position where I can be a part of speaking Te Reo Māori in our home and in our wider community.
It's such a wonderful journey from listening to your mum speak to your aunties and going, I wonder what they're talking about, to having your son teach you and guide you in your Te Reo journey. Justin, kia ora, thank you so much for what you bring to this organisation. Thanks for joining us today.
Kia ora, Andrew.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.